Live. All right. So yeah, I'm just about ready to roll here. Getting things in order. Just kind of looking over the day and what it's all about. Interesting day of sports for sure. It's gonna be fun to talk about.
Yeah, I just saw here the Bulls beat the Thunder in that preseason matchup.
Did they now?
Yeah. Gotta love it. Billy Donovan showing that team that, let him go.
Billy also knows exactly the strength and weakness of that team.
Yeah, because there's a lot of growth ready to happen in Chicago.
It's kind of like, he helped put that team together,
A little bit.
Well, yeah, beat them by 2 in OKC.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Hot off the press,
Yeah, it's going to be good. I think. Uh-oh. Anthony Davis played 35 points.
He doesn't want to get too far out of the rhythm.
Oh, that's great. He put a pretty gross stat line. I'm curious what his minutes were. They only beat the Suns by a point.
Wow.
Very interesting. Well. Let's just get right into it, shall we?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you want to get this rolling now?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just slacking over here.
All right,
No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Good.
Oh, what's going on, guys? So, welcome. Here we are again. Another wonderful show, wonderful evening.
Another Saturday.
Yeah, go ahead. So yes, we got people talking here.
All the time we're talking, right?
Got to respond to the critics.
What are we talking about? Who's that critic?
Oh well, we have that loner Jonah. He's never on the show, but we see him on here. Every once in a blue moon. But there's no blue moon tonight, so he ain't on.
No. Was he over there mobile chatting us?
Yeah.
Wow. Took a page out of Albatross's book.
Oh, that's okay. Oh
well.
He just says that he's just looking to lose in Madden later.
Oh, sounds good. We got you, Ace. We got you. Got you covered.
So, real quick, we had a great day in college sports here.
I don't know.
Kinda. I mean,
great.
Going into the day, great. Coming out of the day, not so much. Iowa and Iowa State, how dare you fail us?
Well, is it how dare you? Just regular business.
Well, I felt like these teams in recent times had been. I mean, the teams, they're talented. They were talented squads. From Iowa State's football team to the Iowa men's, which obviously we're at the end of the college season, for the Cyclones. We're just kind of getting started in college hoops. They just lost to number 1. Being number 3, I don't think they're going to fall a lot. But at the same time, it was rough to see. They really went up there, and the sad part is that they kind of got exposed in the sense of the fast break. Gonzaga got on the fast break, got some turnovers, and they were just running, and Iowa couldn't keep up with it. When Iowa would slow the game down, give it to Garza, just grind it. That dude is so talented. He is so talented. The moves, the footwork, just using his body, getting into people. He's love watching the dude play. Definitely going to be huge in the NBA in my mind.
Easily the best big man in, I think, going into the draft for the NBA. I think he's going to make a huge difference for any team that he goes to. He's going to be. I think this kid right now, he's really not a kid. He's more of a man, really. I mean, he's older now, and I feel like he's ready for the basketball transition. I feel like he's going to be able to go in and handle himself against some of these fives and the fours that are in the NBA. They'll probably thin him out a little bit. He's got a little bit of muscle and build on him right now because it's a good make for the team that he's on. They're, like you said, it's a grit grind team. They want to slow the game down and really grind you away.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas they don't want to be running. If you get them running, that's not their thing. So, I mean, Garza will probably get slimmed down, I think, when he goes to the next level. But I think that'll be good for his game, honestly. He's a great stretch 5'4". You slim him down, put him in a fast transition offense, I'm not saying anything, but, it'd be nice. It'd be a good fit. So it'd be interesting to see.
It'd be good stuff. Yeah, really. I mean, you did see good play later on in the second half down the stretch from Iowa. At one point, beginning of the second half, they were down like 18. Like Gonzaga really got out. And the surprising part was how Gonzaga was hitting the three ball. Because they're not really known for hitting the three ball, but they were just hitting them and big shot after big shot and really putting it down. And on the other end, Wieskamp, Bohannon, they weren't making them. They really have been kind of struggling this year. Besides the UNC game, they've kind of had their moments where they've struggled from the three, and that they can't do that. If this team's going to be big, the roster, they got the talent. They have the talent. They can be that team, but it starts with Bohannon, Wieskamp, hitting that three, feeding it to Garza, letting him grind people late. That's how you win.
Yep, I agree with that.
You didn't see it. Yep, and you didn't just didn't see it, and the lack of defense really, it was sloppy. It was so sloppy. Like Garza's having to do too much. Other people need to really pay attention, and they need to do their job as much as he's doing his job, because he's having to overcompensate and try to cover more. And there's people getting back doors because people aren't doing their job.
Right.
It's just not good.
Yep.
So I wasn't happy about it. But then on the other end, you got Iowa State losing to Oklahoma. What in the trash?
I want to start out by saying, so it's a little different for the ISU program. This is a complete turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they were even, because they were the regular season Big 12 champs. They won the conference in the regular season. They didn't win it in the championship game. Now, it wasn't for the lack of effort. I think the lack of experience in the program showed.
Mm-hmm.
The talent was there. You lose by 6 to the Sooners, who obviously are supposed to be better. It's not like the recruiting class for the Cyclones are going to be compared to a Sooner,
right?
Recruiting class. So right. I think the biggest take out of this is execution for the Cyclones. You're down there, you get that bonehead play on the Sooners, ripping the helmet off. Then you go back-to-back plays of, what does Mr. Flores say? TNT takes no talent.
Yep.
The call.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the quarterback's cadence is going to be. There's just no excuse. They jump off offsides both times, put the team in a bad position, miscommunication on the third play in that series. He gets hit as he starts to throw the ball, becomes a wounded duck. Pick for the Sooners, and it ends the game. They lose by 6.
Mm.
The fact that they were there, again, is a testament to the talent that is on that roster. I'm just excited. If they don't make the college playoffs, I mean, oh well. I'm not really that heartbroken. I just think we're going to get a good bowl game, and that is going to be a great present for all Cyclones fans and all Iowa. Any Iowan that wants to root for the Cyclones, it's something to be proud about. I mean, obviously the Hawkeyes are in a good position too. So really both programs. I mean, the Hawkeyes started out so slow. You know, they just really just fell on their face really when it started, and now they've really kind of picked themselves up and got a little bit of swagger back.
Yep.
So both programs in the state of Iowa have played extremely well. I mean, there's really nothing for us to hang our heads about. We have some pretty good seasons this year, and I think it's a good outlook to see what's coming in the next few seasons for these programs.
I totally agree. I'm excited, and what I'm most excited for is the bowl situation to see where they're landing, what's going to happen, and maybe we get the Cy-Hawk game after all, but it's in a bowl game.
That would be epic. That'd be epic.
It's a possibility, and I think when they pick these bowl games, they have to think about that.
Right.
We got robbed at that this year, and what more to add to the rivalry and just the intensity of the game than to have a bowl game.
Like, it's the ultimate one.
Dude, I'm hoping.
It's not just take the Cy-Hawk trophy home. It's take the Cy-Hawk and maybe the Orange Bowl home.
That would be awesome.
Like, that would be the ultimate feather in the cap, and okay, so let's look from the Hawkeye side. Obviously, the Hawkeyes have had their success and taken the advantage of the Cyclones program and lack thereof, and they've won. Me, as being a Cyclones fan, I think it would be the greatest thing ever to get to beat the Hawkeyes in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be great. I'd be like, okay, we can lose the rest of them, but we got you in the bowl game.
Right.
I mean, both sides though could use that. So that would be exciting. I just head over heels excited for that game.
That would just be awesome. I'd be so excited for that.
Yep.
So moving right along here, we have obviously some other results and some other games, but the one that really stood out to me, return of Trevor Lawrence for Clemson. They just beat down Notre Dame, just rolled over them. To me, maybe the College Football Playoff Committee won't see it this way. To me, getting beat how they did, I believe it was to the test, I believe like 38-10. Like, just totally smack down Notre Dame. In my mind, they got to fall out of the top four. They have to. Like, if you're really that good, I understand it's, number. What was it? Yeah, it was like number
2 and 4, maybe. They were both top 5 teams.
But exactly.
Either way you look at this, so
number 2 versus number 3. So Notre Dame was number 2, Clemson was number 3, 34-10. Excuse me, just to correct all that. Yeah, that's the way it is. You can't go into a 2 versus 3, lose 34-10, and not fall out of the top 4 in my mind.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I think the biggest thing that all of this really truly proves is that the eye test was correct.
100%.
Trevor Lawrence passed the eye test every time. Now, This just continues to solidify that he is going to be a generational talent. He is a Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, one of those guys. One of the guys that comes in and it has that hype behind him. Obviously Montana didn't have a ton of hype, but I mean, I remember a lot of Peyton Manning. When he was coming out of Tennessee, it was, oh my goodness, it was the best thing since sliced bread. We were getting ready to see the greatest quarterback of all time, and arguably so. I mean, he really kind of redefined how quarterbacks read the defense pre-snap.
Right.
We saw the evolution of what he did for that position, and it's the most difficult position on the field. So I think we're getting ready to see it. I think we've already seen a lot of this influx of generational talent. We have Tua in here. You have Burrows in here. A lot of these guys are
Herbert
to continue to change how the game is played, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I agree. I totally agree. We actually had a question from a fan. asked about the Michigan State game. I don't think there was a Michigan State, sir. I don't think they played today. So I cannot answer that. I am looking right now, and I do not see a Michigan State game on today. So that is that. Moving right along, because that's what we do here at Saturday Night Sports. We're going to jump into the good old what I love NBA. Pretty much, we're pretty much on the end of the preseason, if I do believe. I'm going to look here. I know it's way more than the NFL, like, the little 4-game crappiness, but it's not very long. I do know, I believe, Christmas Day? Day after Christmas? That's when the season starts?
Yeah, it was only supposed to be, I believe, like a 2-week preseason or something like that.
Yeah, so...
It wasn't that long, I know that. I think...
Oh, the Michigan State game was canceled.
Michigan State game was canceled today.
You mean, then he's talking about Michigan. Iowa and Michigan got canceled. Okay. That much I know, because Michigan tested positive for COVID for days.
Michigan State at Maryland was canceled too.
Oh dang! So everyone in Michigan's getting Rona. Stay out of Michigan.
15 players tested positive for the COVID-19.
Maryland, Michigan.
So yeah, that's so yeah. To answer that question a little more in detail to the fan.
Thank you.
It was canceled due to the virus. So good times.
So,
but back to the preseason, I think a lot of teams have done a good job of managing their opportunities to kind of spice in some of the big name guys, especially for those teams that played in the bubble, that played in that playoff run. The fact that you made the comment that Davis played today, that's big for the Lakers. The fact that he's still out here keeping that groove, that championship groove going is huge.
Yep. I'm with you. You see, and here's the thing. This is the scary part to me. It's hard to say, or it's hard to believe that, looking back, short off season, you're like, okay, Lakers just won it. LeBron and AD, good story. Had a nice squad. Let's see what they have next year. And they restock and get a better team than they had last year. Are you kidding me?
Well, they got similar. What they did is really smart because they got similar players, just half the age. So they again had this youth infusion, and it's okay to do that on the LeBron team. And I said because LeBron is a great coach on the court. He doesn't just yell at you from the side of the court. So
and he makes sure you're in the right position to win, and that's what makes me put LeBron up there in the all-time discussion of great basketball players. Is he's one of those people that makes everyone better around him, and he makes sure that they're in the position for them to succeed and do their job.
Right.
And at the same time, you do what he asks you to do. Next thing you know, I got a ring.
I don't know. Kyrie was always the best player on every team.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, sorry.
As if he wasn't even.
No.
That was just blasphemy. So, yes, I believe tonight, from what it looks like, the games tonight are the last preseason games. And then Tuesday night is the opener of the season. We have Golden State at Brooklyn. The return of, your boy, Kevin Durant. Honestly, it's going to be a great opening night, but Brooklyn's going to definitely take that victory opening night. I think Katie's going to be out to prove a point. I'm excited to watch Brooklyn versus Los Angeles when they play because he is going to go at LeBron. And then you have like an awesome back-to-back. So Golden State, Brooklyn, Clippers, Lakers.
Wow.
And that's opening night. So I'm totally stoked for that doubleheader opening night Tuesday. That starts 6 p.m. Central Time TNT. That's going to be good stuff. Since we're in here talking about them Chicago Bulls,
What?
Wednesday night, Atlanta comes to town for the home opener in Chicago and Billy Donovan's first home game. I am actually kind of excited about it. I've always been a huge Billy Donovan guy. You know me. I followed him from Florida. Dude's a winner. He knows basketball. He understands when you give him a team, he finds out their strengths and weakness, and he is very good at masking a team's weakness with just doing the little things good. That's what matters. And he really loves to take youth and just run the floor. He wants to just outpace you and wear your team down, and the next thing you know, you got your shooters just rolling and hitting their shots.
Yep. And I think it's going to be great for – okay, so it's great for the Bulls from the top to the bottom. Because the front office, ever since Phil Jackson, has had a horrible reputation for just treating their coaches bad. No coaches want to go there. So the fact that Billy Donovan wanted to go there was a big thing. But that was also because we brought in these, the new front office, really infused the Chicago Bulls team to start utilizing the talent that's already on the roster. So you get Billy Donovan, you place him with this team, I think you're going to see a different Chicago team. Now, you look at the division. Obviously, Giannis is in that division. It's going to be a tough mountain to climb. Really, no matter how you slice it. Those are going to be tough games. You got to play Milwaukee. Probably you play them I can't remember, like 8 times, maybe 50, I don't know. You play them a ton. Play them a lot. I know that.
More than a handful.
Yeah. More than twice.
But that's the thing there is you got to steal a couple of those. And in my mind, a winning season for the Bulls is just maybe even just a second place in the division. Maybe 5-7 games out of first because Milwaukee's going to be out to prove something because Mr. Giannis just said,
big money.
I'm here to stay.
Yeah.
So I expect that team to really be – I expect that team to come out hot and just start rolling over people because I think there was an uncertainty in the locker room. They weren't kind of sure, is he going to be here? Is he going to leave? And then he does it right before the season and says, hey, guys, I'm here. Let's do this. Well, that whole team's going to be ready. They're loving the fact that their guy stayed in Milwaukee and wants to stay in Milwaukee to win now.
Yep. I think it's huge. I think it says a lot about his character. That doesn't happen a lot anymore. You don't have guys that are, I believe it was in his tweet, he said, this is my city and my team. It was huge. The fact that he's showing the loyalty, and he should. Milwaukee showed the loyalty and the confidence in him when he wasn't rated as that high of a player. He put in the work. He put in the effort. He was definitely not rated what he is rated now in his career. I think it's an awesome thing. Obviously, being a Bulls fan, I wish he was in red and not in green, but that's okay. I think it's good for the NBA overall.
I 100% agree. I'm glad that. And here's the thing. Before I get into that, a lot of people are taking shots like, "Oh, this is why Giannis is better than LeBron, and this is why he's better than Kevin Durant. They didn't have to leave to win championships." Well, guess what? He hasn't won a championship yet, so you can't say that. And second of all, Giannis already went through adversity to get to where he's at. So I think he can win a championship because I feel like for LeBron to get where he is now, he had to leave. He was hitting a mental wall. He was carrying the team. He wasn't able to evolve, quote unquote,
Right.
I feel like he evolved. I feel like the same thing happened with Kevin Durant. He was just a scoring machine in Oklahoma City. And then he went and played with Golden State, and his game evolved, and he looks just so deadly on the court after playing with Curry and them. It just blows my mind. Like, you see that they were able to help elevate his game. And it's hard to say or even think that Kevin Durant could get better.
I don't really think it was that they elevated it. I feel like they more like crystallized it in his mind. They
Yeah, I
just
can see that.
really built his confidence within his own game, because if there was really one thing that held him back, I think in Oklahoma City, was just his lack of confidence in himself sometimes. And if he would have just stepped up and I think really grabbed the reins and took the reins in Oklahoma City, I think that they would have won that title against Miami that year.
Yep.
I mean, I think if Westbrook and Harden know that it was Durant's team, they would have looked to him more. I felt like it was this three-headed, weird, just three-headed dragon that wanted to eat itself, because no one really wanted to step up and take that leadership role within those three. I feel like that's really what ate that team apart. We saw it, obviously, in the games. They'd be up big and then they'd have these meltdowns. And so those guys would already have a ring in Oklahoma City.
Well, I agree.
Back to the original statement, you can't. Okay, Giannis is, I think, physically the best player in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. No one's stronger than he's just a freak.
Exactly. He's strong.
It's Greek freak.
The late, great Kobe made the comment on his last detail that if Giannis just turns the switch, becomes aggressive, Giannis, just gets angry, just a smidge, there's no one in the league that's going to stop this guy.
Nope.
Nobody. If he just turns that switch just a little bit, no one's stopping Giannis. Giannis is bringing the championship to Milwaukee. Maybe this signing the contract, this kind of weird moment in his, because obviously he's a star, but he kind of had this weird, awkward moment with his, with his franchise.
Right.
Really kind of the fuel for his switch that. The moment it happens, you're going to see it. We already know Giannis is who Giannis is. Now, let's say his last name, Antetokounmpo. I'm so tired of all these people trashing this guy's name. Crazy. But he's a really, really amazing basketball player. We can't start comparing him to, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Will, all these guys. We can't do that yet. We can't. I think they're in their own areas right now in their career. Kevin Durant, yes, he had to go search to get a title. Did he jump on a team that was already completely loaded with firepower?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But that was just the fad. That's the fad of the NBA. And that's what there's nothing we're going to do to change it. The NBA is what the NBA is. And it's always going to be these three-headed teams that are going to win these championships. Two-headed with a great underlying group of guys like the Lakers last year. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis with a bunch of really, really good role players in their own position. So,
right.
This is kind of what the NBA is. We just have to understand it, respect it, and enjoy what we have. The only thing I can just continue to hope for is a little more defense, because I love some defense. But,
that's why I like to watch Kawhi and Paul George and, people like that. Even Chris Paul at an older age, that dude will still break down and
body you up,
check someone up.
Exactly. And then when LeBron, gets down and gets physical when it's time.
That was the difference last year. That was the difference. LeBron went in last year and instilled this defensive grit in the Lakers team with AD, and they just locked people down. And it turned into better offense. That was really what helped build that team. And I think, like we said earlier, them getting younger, getting good role players that are younger or maybe even a little more talented than what they just had. Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, and you get Marc Gasol, and then Pau Gasol's talking about wanting to come back, and just crazy stuff. But
the only person I don't like on that list, and obviously I know it's one of his best friends, I just am not sold on Montrezl Harrell. I don't think he's as good as what he's chalked up to be. I
think he's just going to come off the bench maybe 10, 15 minutes a game, get I think you'll see him get like 5 points, 10 rebounds. That's all they need him to do. Come in and rebound. He's going to be their rebounder because Dwight left.
Right.
That's what they got.
I agree with that. I mean, you never know. He could end up in a starting role. Him down there with Anthony Davis wouldn't be a bad position for him. Obviously, him positioned in between LeBron and Anthony right there at that 4. That'd be a good place for him. But obviously, he's going to perform. He's not the, like a core in that, that post play or that stretch post play. Obviously, Anthony Davis is going to take that from him. So, I mean, I think we're going to see him perform at a high level. But again, I'm not buying what I'm seeing. It's fool's gold. It's going to look really good on the outside because he's with some really good players. But I'm not sold on that guy. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I have no say in it. But, he definitely wouldn't have been my first pick.
Yeah, I know. I think it was just kind of, I don't know. Like I said, the whole Dwight thing, I think, kind of caught him off guard. Because he said he was going to be there, he was going to re-sign, and then like an hour and a half later, he left. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a weird one. But I think this is a good thing in disguise, I think, for the Clippers. I think Harrell was a lot worse in that locker room than what anyone else is going to lead on. I mean, if you sit here and stand up and basically say, screw off to one of the superstars on your team when he wants to retain everybody, like, get out. We don't need you.
You don't need it. Nope, you don't need it.
Get out of here.
Yep, you can't create a championship environment with people like that.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is he'll check that at the door coming into LeBron and AD's locker room. Otherwise, you won't be there.
Because of his friendship with LeBron.
Yep.
So, like,
Yep.
him and LeBron are good buddies. And so there's not going to be any rough, goings. You have him judging PG and judging Kawhi and judging these guys. And, like, just get out of here, dude.
It's stupidity.
Go to the other locker room and
Bye. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited. We'll definitely expand. We're going to definitely be covering the NBA as the season unfolds, gets going, and so on and so forth. So I think we'll kind of save our regular season predictions to next Saturday. Give us a nice, week to get in. Opening week. Have the first Tuesday, Wednesday night, things like that. We might even have a little Christmas special. You never know. Oh.
Christmas gift?
So definitely something to pay attention to. But as we continue going forward, you did say there was some injury news in the league for the NFL. So what is going
on? An odd move considering the game coming up for the Saints. Michael Thomas on the IR? It is weird. It really didn't go into much depth. I need to continue to do a little more research on it, but it was just, I think right before the show, it had been released maybe 15, 30 minutes prior to the show being on, and it just came out of nowhere. And this is odd. You're going to play Kansas City. Don't you think having Michael Thomas would be a good thing?
Would be a plus.
We're right. So, I'm not really sure. The other one was Derek Carr had the groin injury. And it was
Thursday night. He, I think, left in the second half. I don't know. I know it was at some point in the game he left, had a groin injury. John Gruden, it says it is pretty significant. There is a chance that he might not play next Saturday night when they host Miami. So we'll see how that goes. That's going to be interesting. And it was nice to see Mariota get another chance to play because he came out and executed very well. He ran for like 88 yards, was dropping dimes, just awesome throw for one of the first touchdowns for him to Waller. Just good stuff. Good stuff.
Maybe it's what he needed, get a
fresh start,
different place. So I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I really do.
I'm with you. Let's see. What was another one that we had? I think there was Mike Gesicki. From what I'm seeing all so far this week, he's going to play this week.
Nice. So I mean, also Kittle wasn't up. They're not going to put Kittle in the lineup for the 49ers either. They're going to continue to rest him. I did see that Mostert was suiting up. Looks like it says Matthew Stafford is preparing to play. So maybe you see him back for the Lions.
It'd be huge.
Yeah.
I'll move right along here. I think we're gonna be honest.
What do you feel like being honest about? I mean, I'm really, really interested to hear it.
You know, I think. Oh man, this is gonna hurt me, but I think it's time to be honest and say that the Buffalo Bills are for real. I think this defense and the way Josh Allen's playing they just turned it on. They clicked that switch. They've turned it on. They've been playing very well. They just went to Buffalo. Oh my gosh. They just went to Denver. Excuse me, Buffalo traveling to Denver. Good stuff. Just murdered them. Murdered them. I'm just like, oh, well then. So with that, they wrapped up the AFC East, won the division. I think it was first time since like 95. I think they've won it. So definitely been a while.
Yeah.
So, hats off to them. I'm glad that, some of us had the Patriots to win the division. Cool story. I won't complain.
Right.
At the same time, I've been seeing this for a while. I've seen the writing on the wall for the Bills since they drafted Josh Allen. I myself wanted Miami to draft Josh Allen that year, and they didn't. And I was like, come on. Like, the dude's arm strength, just, you could see it. He has intangibles and things that you want to see, and you can develop him, which you've seen done again. You're seeing it happen currently. They're developing him. He's getting the patience. He's making the reads. He understands when to throw the ball and when to tuck in and run.
Yep.
And being a dual threat the way he is, and all of a sudden he can just chuck the ball 50 yards. Like, people are talking about Mahomes' arm strength. Let's talk about Josh Allen arm strength. He does it in the cold weather too. He's up there in Buffalo, New York.
It's colder in Buffalo than it is in Kansas City.
So, yeah, I think it's time to be honest and say that the Bills are for real, and it would not surprise me to see them in the AFC Championship game this year.
I like it. I'm just going to continue with it. I think Josh Allen is a lot better than a lot of people want to give him credit.
Oh, yeah.
They had that hot start. Everyone
kind of got rocky.
Bills, hoorah, hoorah. And it was just like almost like the wheels fell off.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think all the wheels fell off. I think it was just some parts were squeaky. The car was just kind of having a moment to get going. Again, lack of OTAs, lack of preseason teams. You bring in Stephon Diggs. You're trying to build some chemistry within this offense. It's a big offense. You have defense that had some injuries, some odd injuries, took out some of their guys. You had those guys come back, and then this team starts to play better. And then it just seemed to me like the game just completely slowed down for Allen finally. Like, he just rolls back now, and I feel like he's not, like, rushing what he knows he needs to do. I feel like he's like, wow, this is taking forever. Like, this is the longest 3 seconds of my life, but it's always lately it's been a very successful 3 to 5 seconds of his life.
Right.
So I think the game has slowed down, and it's awesome for Bills fans. If we get a Bills Super Bowl, I would totally be 100% okay with that. Go Bills. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the Dolphins. Anybody, and I'm gonna totally say, because let's be honest, I just don't want to see the Chiefs again. I'm sick of them. It was bull crap last year anyway. I'm gonna have that moment. I don't want to hear about it. Go anyone in the AFC but Cupcake Kingdom.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. I'm loving it.
No Steelers. No Steelers.
True. Which, according to our wonderful Colin Cowherd, we love listening to the guy. Shout out to Colin. He'll never see this, but shout out to Colin.
Shout out to Colin. Love his shows. He's a good guy. Honestly, I really love his off the wall perspective.
Yeah.
But I feel like he needs to pump the brakes a couple times on this.
Well, the interesting thing that's here last week is he was doing kind of going through and playoffs and if they started and all that. And he actually picked Miami to make the playoffs, go on the road to Pittsburgh, and beat them in the first round.
But you know what? And honestly, I know he's a huge Tua.
Oh, yeah.
I remember in the lead up to the draft, just loves Tua. I think that is more. That's not that far fetched.
I don't think so
I
either.
easily see Miami traveling in here, playing a tough game. Sanders kicks field goal, walks out. Pittsburgh's in the locker room crying. Miami's moving forward. Totally see it. I 100% see it.
Oh, kicking
Not
Minka
that far
Fitzpatrick right where it hurts. Oh, sorry.
Right. Like, there you go, Fitzpatrick.
What?
Yeah, you go. We don't want you now.
Oh,
I
man.
agree. It'd be awesome. It'd be great to see.
Heck yeah. I'm excited. You know, speaking of that wonderful Miami team, we'll kick it off with them for the quick picks this week, which an update here. Yes, folks, I actually kept track this time. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Well, Jonah got the win. So far leads everybody. He's 3-3. He's the best of us all. We're not doing so hot at the moment. We should have kept track sooner because we probably would look better than this.
Yeah.
CJ 3-4, which is wait, how does that even make sense? I think it's supposed to be 2-4. My apologies. Yes.
Wow.
No.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's been currently fact-checked by Twitter.
It was 4-3. I had that mixed. It was correct. So Jonah was 4-3. CJ was 3-4. Our, wonderful me and you 2-5. Good times. So we're just gonna get right into it here. Oh, I know. We got New England going to Miami. I'm taking Miami. New England historically plays terrible in Miami. So I am excited to see how that goes. But I definitely think Tua can break this streak of them beating up on rookie quarterbacks for like 10 straight starts.
I'm going to go with Miami. The Patriots are just going to come in here with this good feel vibe. It's going to be a close game. I just think you're going to see a different Patriots team than what you have in past years in Miami. But I do think Miami's going to beat them.
That's kind of where I'm at. I know that we have holes being the run game, but playing this team, I think they're going to focus more on the run because Cam's not going to be able to throw it. Cam has 5 passing touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Do you really want to try to throw at this secondary?
No.
Do I have to talk about Xavier Howard?
No.
Who, by the way, I'm saying is going to get to double-digit INT this year. Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you say no. I'm sorry. On to number 2 here, we got Carolina. Actually, right now it's on Carolina going to Green Bay. I am taking Green Bay.
I'm just going to go with the safe pick, and I'm going to go to Green Bay.
So far,
I'm just trying to win. I don't really care. I might even pick Cupcake Kingdom, but I don't know if I can bring myself to that.
Uh-oh.
But it's competition. I want to win, so I'm not sure.
So we got Jacksonville and Baltimore. The way they've been playing lately, Baltimore's turning it on. I think they're going to get another win this week.
Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. My gut wants the Jags to win. My brain tells me they're not.
That's kind of where I'm at. Per our, fan request, our buddy, Jacob over here, he's constantly commenting. He loves this show.
He's a good kid.
He wants to know about the Chicago-Minnesota game. Who you got on that?
I'm going to go with the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Well, I'm going to have to go in the complete opposite direction because I'm just not a believer in the Trubisky show and go with the Vikings.
Wow. You're
I really I don't know.
trolling me?
I really think that Jefferson and Thielen are just handfuls for people right now. You can't double either of them. You just can't. So you're trying to tell me that they're going to lock people up one-on-one? Not all night. Justin Jefferson's too good.
I don't think it's that they're going to lock him up all night. Kirk Cousins is not going to have a lot of time, and that run game is not going to get going. Every piece of Minnesota success runs through Dalvin Cook.
I agree also with that, but I don't know. Like I said, I think Trubisky falls apart, and I think that's going to be the difference in this game.
No.
He's not the answer, folks. They
No.
should have took Mahomes.
No. God, it's time for you to eat a truth biscuit. He's winning.
Yeah, he's winning for now until the moment gets too big for him. And he'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
No, he didn't double doink it. Okay.
Oh,
The
true.
kicker is no longer on the team. Double doinked it.
True. This is true. Moving right along. Seattle, Washington.
Well, I'm definitely not picking an NFC East team. I wish that Hog Guy was here so I could tell him. Again, it was no revenge game.
Well, that Homer should have showed up, but he's a Homer, so.
Yeah, just like Washington, they decide when they want to show up. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks because the Seahawks are they're gonna just continue to play hard.
Here's my thing. I'm with you. I'm taking Seattle after they showed up and absolutely trounced the Jets last week. I think they're on a mission. I think Russ and Pete Carroll lit a fire under that team, and they just threw up points at will last week. And I think they're going to be ready to do it again.
They're going to push every bit of the outside of those numbers with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
The receiving core. Plus, Russ is not – you're not playing against Nick Mullins. Okay? Again, the Washington football team squeaks by a 49ers team with a Nick Mullins quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get lucky again. You have Russell Wilson there. Russell Wilson will play a lot better. He will be able to draw these plays out longer than they want him to be. And DK and his little buddy Tyler are going to be there.
I agree. I totally agree. So let's see. Tampa Bay, Atlanta.
I'm never jumping off the pirate ship.
That's kind of where I'm at. After everyone was doubting them last week, and they can't do it, and they can't do this, they can't do that, and the next thing you know, boom, Tom's like, "I'm still here. What's up? We're dropping points. Give me that dub."
It's not him. It's the coach.
Oh, I know.
The
play calling. I hate Bruce Arians' ego because when he was in Arizona and he, revitalized Carson Palmer, you're like, dude, this guy, he could be the real deal.
Right.
And then he gets an ego and thinks that he's the greatest thing since apple pie, and then just wants to retire, but then pop back up and I'm going to lead this team to the promised land, and we got to do it this way, and quit. You have Tom Brady, run the ball, play action, you'll win.
Right. You have Leonard Fournette and Rojo in your backfield.
Oh, my gosh.
These guys should both so at least 600 apiece. Rojo should be 700-800 yards on the ground. You're talking – these guys probably you have Tom Brady throwing the ball like 40-some times a game.
It's true. Can't do it. He's not 20 no more.
It's not smart. It's just not smart. Tom Brady, yes, he is the GOAT. But don't expect him to carry all 52 players to a Super Bowl. It's not going to happen.
I agree 100%. I'm also the same way. I'm sticking with good old terrible Tom to lead the ship to the promised land.
Arby Captain Terrible Tom.
Now we're going to go on down to Nolans. Nolans.
No.
Kansas City versus New Orleans. We talked about kind of some injuries with that earlier. Drew Brees is back.
Right.
He's returning. You're going to see the difference. I think Drew Brees in that dome with that defense, I think that defense goes back and looks at the tape, and they're like, here's what Miami did against Mahomes. Here's what we can do.
Yep.
I think New Orleans gets this victory.
But yeah, the Saints have a strong defense.
Oh, yeah.
They have guys who can get pressure. They have smart guys who get pressure. They have a really good secondary that works well together. I think.
And they have a really good linebacker. You might have heard of him. His name's Quan Alexander.
And he understands this cupcake kingdom pretty well. I mean, obviously, he lost in the Super Bowl.
He's ready to go lay some kids out.
I just can't bring myself to pick Kansas City. I really care if they have one loss. I can't stand the Saints. Can't stand the Saints. Can't stand the Chiefs. But you know what? Go Saints. Go Saints. Go Saints. And who dey?
Who dat? So then, to wrap her up here, Cleveland traveling to the G-Men.
Gotta go play in MetLife. Hopefully they put leg braces on their players. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. Ever since OBJ goes down, this team
is just like woken up.
Ascended to the next level, has really found its identity, and this is what a diva does to your offensive flow.
Yep.
You have to feed this person the ball so many times, or they're crying on the side. No.
Yep.
This team is really, really good. Cleveland Browns are for real. They're a physical football team with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. You're talking two guys who are power backs, but have this beautiful burst of speed when they get that hole and they see it, just bam, they're right through it. So I think if they just continue to feed these guys the rock, then let Baker just be Baker. Make these plays at your own rate. Don't change his clock. If you start to change his timing in this game,
you're gonna ruin him.
He's horrible, horrible, horrible Baker.
Yep.
You let him do his thing, run the ball, set him up for success, and Stefanski knows this, and that shows why Stefanski is such a good head coach. He makes the changes per his players.
Yep.
I feel like he's done a great job with this team. For multiple of the past seasons, we've looked at Cleveland. You and I have talked. Man, this team's talented. Good Lord, look at this talent all over this team, and man, they should be good this year. They should be good.
Nope.
This is the year. I think we finally see them. I mean, look, they're playing. It's December, and we're still talking about the Cleveland Browns. It's crazy time in football. Good time for Cleveland. I mean, there's some fans who have never even watched the Cleveland Browns play meaningful football. So it's a good time for them. I'm going with Cleveland to go in and beat the G-Men. I think it's going to be a good game, but I don't think it's going to be close. I think Cleveland comes out and flexes a little muscle.
That would be huge for the Washington football team in case they get trounced by Seattle.
Yeah, because it keeps them in that trash division at that one spot. So
AKA trash division is right.
It's
ew. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Cleveland should have won last week based on what we were just talking about and how good they've been playing. And then they let Baltimore gain some momentum, and here they come. I don't know that I can trust Cleveland to travel again and actually get it done. They just went through just an all-out shootout, barely lost, and now you got to travel over to a defense, in my mind, who's been turning on lately and holding people down.
Yeah.
So, I'm taking the G-Men with the upset.
Ooh.
Oh.
Right, mic drop.
So, those are the picks for the week. Those are our quick picks. That's kind of what we got going on. Definitely let us know what you guys think about that. We'll definitely continue to do that each week and keep the standings updated as time goes along.
Yeah.
Moving right along to the playoff picture in the NFL. What do you have for us on that, Albatross?
Well, we'll start with the AFC side first.
Can I have
So
some?
right now, currently, you have your 4 divisional leaders. You have Kansas City at 12-1, who sits in that number 1 seed. Steelers number 2 seed at the 11-2. The Bills, I believe, are 11-3 because their game completed today, so they're in that 3 seed. They clinch their division. You have the Titans in the 4 at 9-4. The wild card at this point, you have the Browns at 9-4 in the 5 seed. You have the 6 seed of those Colts, 9-4, and then you have the Dolphins at that 8-5, holding on to that 7. So you look at the in the hunt teams. You have 4. You have the Ravens, Raiders, Patriots, and Broncos. Still mathematically, I'm not sure how the Broncos are still considered in the hunt. I would imagine that loss today took them off that list, but
Yeah.
we're just going to take them out. So the Patriots, Raiders, and Ravens. So the Patriots obviously can keep their hopes alive if they get this victory tomorrow.
In Miami. Yep.
It's going to be close. Division rival like that. Talking final seed in the playoffs. Stuff's getting real. It's good
Being
time.
football.
The Raiders with this, I don't know. Maybe Marcus Mariota has, a seamless continuation into this offense and plays well, but I just don't see the Vegas Raiders, getting through there this year. I feel like there's been too many, just weird happenings for this team this year. I mean, again, they're almost like that San Francisco, the AFC. Every time they've had expectations, they never show up, and when they don't have expectations, they beat the Chiefs. So I mean, it's been a weird season. It's been a really weird season. I think the real team that's still in the hunt is the Ravens. Obviously, they share the same record at 8-5, like we spoke earlier. The conference record is what gives you guys the tiebreaker in that seeding.
Yep.
So Dolphins just need to take care of business, and you need to hope for a Jacksonville Jaguar team to come out and play crazy out of their mind and kind of give you guys a little cushion.
Probably won't happen, but hey, anything happens.
Anything can happen on Sunday. So that's really about it. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of movement. I don't think Kansas City is going to fall out of that number 1 seed, even if they lose to New Orleans.
Right.
It can happen. New Orleans is a number 2 seed in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really good defense. They have a really good offense. It can happen. So maybe they lose it. Then they have the same record as the Steelers. I don't think it really matters to Kansas City. Really, if they have the 1 seed or the 2 seed, they're really, I know they're a better team than the Steelers. I think the Bills are making an argument for being one of the best teams in the AFC, considering the way that they've played lately.
I agree.
And then you kind of get down here, and I feel like it's funny because I feel like the Browns and the Dolphins and the Colts are better teams than the Titans. And I feel like that's just because of inconsistency in the Titans game.
Yep.
A 2-quarter football team is not going to win you a Super Bowl.
Right. They have issues playing 4 quarters right now. And from what you saw last week, Cleveland can play 4 quarters, even if they're kind of have one sloppy in between. They're still there, keeping it in it, and then they turn it on the next 2 quarters, and next thing you know, they got a chance to win.
Yep.
You saw Miami last week down 30-10 into the 4th quarter. Tua goes down 2 touchdown drives, defense stops, gets the ball back, all that. They get a chance to win. They're, down 1 score late, and what's Kansas City do? They run a pick play that's not called and get a first down. Shocker.
Right.
So, yeah, definitely. They played, those teams definitely play good down the stretch, have been so far, and are showing that they can be 4th quarter teams.
Yep. I agree, and that's the most important quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and shift gears to the NFC. We have the Packers right now sitting currently at a tie for a record with the Saints. Both have 10-3 records, but the Packers, I believe, they have clinched their division, so they don't. They already have an automatic top four seeding. Then you have the Rams, who I think are going to pull out the NFC West division title, playing some of the best football I think in the NFC West right now. Seahawks have this sporadic. The team kind of plays the way Nick Foles plays as a football player. He can play like Super Bowl champ, and then he can play like absolute trash.
Right.
I feel like that's just kind of the way the Seattle Seahawks are. They have these moments that's like, wow, look at that. Oh, that looks really good. And then there's other times it's like, I knew that was in there. So I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC West. Hurts me to say that, but it's okay. I think the Rams are going to take the West this year. And then we unfortunately have to talk about this dumpster NFC East that unfortunately gets a seeding in a top four, but we have the Washington football team who's holding on to that position currently at 6-7. We go down to then the Seahawks, who are sitting there at 9-4, the Bucks at 8-5, and the Cards at 7-6 hold those wild card positions right at this moment. Teams in the hunt in the NFC was actually a lot longer than the AFC. You have the Vikings and the Bears, who are both 6-7. Then you have the Lions, 49ers, and Giants, all at 5-8, which somehow mathematically they're still involved. Obviously, the Giants are because they're only a victory out, maybe 2 victories out of winning their division. So that
It's
makes
so
sense.
crazy to think that an 8-8 or even maybe like a 7-9 team might potentially make a wild card again this year in the NFC.
Yep. It'll be the first time since the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have some of these other, and obviously you have Chicago and Minnesota playing themselves. So the winner of that game keeps their playoff hopes alive. The loser just get ready to go home, start packing. The Lions, we'll see. We'll see what Lions team shows up. Ever since Patricia got released and got fired, this team seemed to get more consistent, starting to play smarter, faster, a little harder. So Lions are still there. 49ers are Nick Mullins led, so they're just about to go outside in the dumpster too. And then obviously the Giants, they're the Giants, so they have a chance to play tough against this Cleveland team. The defense, like you said, has really been solidifying what they do. And I think a lot of that praise needs to go to Mr. Logan Ryan. He really has helped solidify what that defense does. So it's going to be an interesting finish to the season. We have a lot of races with teams who are right there, close to each other, waiting to cross that finish line. So, I mean, we could even see the Rams potentially get number 1 seed at this rate. 9-4 with a 10-3. There's no guarantee that this is set over here in the NFC, but I feel like the AFC a little more defined.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Steelers, Bills. I feel like those are going to be your top 3.
Oh yeah.
Much change in that.
Yep, I think really what you're seeing, you can see the Titans and Colts flipping, and then just the order of where the wild card is in the AFC.
Yep.
That's probably about it. It'd be interesting if Miami wins out and they're a 5 seed at 11 wins.
Yeah.
That would be nuts.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you look at the Browns, and even if they win out, they could be a 12-win team at the 5 seed. So you'd have the 12-win, 11-win, 2 12-win, and 1 11-win team rounding out your 5, 6, and.
That's a pretty stacked AFC, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys, you look at a lot of these teams, and again, like, this is me. I'm going to put an asterisk next to this season.
Right.
Nothing against the talent that has performed at the time that it was required. Nothing against that. I think really what it comes down to is we need to all be real and take a step back and look and say, would we have these same exact results on some of these teams if they would have had OTAs, if they would have had off seasons, if they would have had training camps with each other, and all this different stuff? I just feel like we wouldn't see some of the numbers that we do this year if we would have had those things. So,
Right.
I think a lot of teams need to be happy. Enjoy the year while you're in it. Enjoy the moment of success, the fun of being a fan of a team who's winning. So I think all teams need to enjoy it and take the moment in.
100%. Moving along. Talk of the day. Oh, so we haven't really touched on this in a while. I think it's a good opportunity to do so. We got the closing weeks here. This is for the playoff runs. This is when it matters.
Yep.
So we're looking at MVPs. I think you got to talk Josh Allen. I think, man, you got to look at Aaron Rodgers. He has, 39 touchdowns, and they've punted the ball 38 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the dude's playing out of his mind this year for the Packers. What's another one?
Here's one that I've been thinking about, and obviously we can really measure this from last year to this year. Ben Roethlisberger. And I say it because you remove him from that Steelers team.
Yeah, most valuable, yeah.
And that Steelers team is not going to be 11-2.
No, I like that. I think you could easily put him in the conversation.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
He's throwing the ball 50 times a game, and he's not a 20-year-old man. He's not an early 30-year-old man. He's been in the league for a long time.
It's true.
And this guy's out here throwing the ball 50 times a game. And dragging this mediocre Steelers team who has moments where they look like they're together, but then they don't. And I don't know. Maybe we're just not giving enough credit to their opponents. Maybe their opponents see stuff on film, obviously, that we don't see.
Packers are winning 21-3.
Yeah. Carolina going to Lambeau. It's frigid Lambeau right now. It's rough sailing.
Here's one. Man, I wish they were winning more, because I think it'd be crazy if they were winning more and they had a chance and they were up there in the playoffs, that you could probably talk Justin Herbert numbers, considering sitting second right now in the league in passing yards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, again, look at what Herbert has done with kind of a really mixed culture inside that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
That culture in that locker room is not where it needs to be, but I think Herbert's the guy to help adjust it.
Right. So then here's where I'm at. So obviously, like I said, the first two, Aaron Rodgers, and I already forgot the other guy I said. Because I'm looking at stats here, and I'm looking at Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry just jumps out at me, just because he's looking to become the first person since Chris Johnson to run for 2,000.
Oh, okay, yeah, I believe.
Which was only the eighth it'll only be the eighth person in NFL history to do so. He has almost 1,600 rushing yards right now entering the week.
Yeah.
So it's again, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has to be up there. You have to talk, unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes. The dude's got 4,200 yards passing. He leads the league. I know, right? Snooze fest.
Moving on.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with, my MVP type situation. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. We could talk Ben for sure. Patrick Mahomes, obviously. And like I said, Derrick Henry. You take Derrick Henry away from the Titans, they're nothing. They're nothing. They're good offense, but they're not great elite offense.
No.
The dude surpassed LaDainian Tomlinson, Barry Sanders, there's another one on the list. Might be like Emmett Smith, maybe. But maybe Adrian Peterson. I'm not sure. But basically, most 200-yard rushing, 2-touchdown games in NFL history. Derrick Henry has 4 or 5 now, and they were tied at 3 or 4. Like, I can't remember. And then Barry Sanders tweeted out basically like, you're one of the greatest of all time, basically.
That's a good nod.
Oh, it was awesome. Like, I was like, good for you, Derek. Good for you.
Yeah.
I really love watching the guy play. I mean, Alabama product, whatever. But when he first came out, everyone's like, oh, he's not what we expected. He's not going to be it.
Right.
He's just turned into a monster. The dude has good top end speed and just runs through people.
Mm-hmm. When he figured out his physical game,
Yep. It was over.
Everyone was screwed.
Yep. It was that simple. Bold prediction of the week.
Uh-oh.
It's time. Oh,
okay. We should get like a. I don't know.
So, my bold prediction, we kind of talked a little before the show. Here it is, folks.
Do it.
Miami starts the playoff push tomorrow at home against the Patriots. They're going to win out. They're going to win 3 straight. We're beating the Patriots. We're beating the Raiders. And we're beating the Bills because they're not going to be playing anybody. They're going to be resting.
Yeah, they're not going to put anything into it.
Won't have to.
Yeah.
Unless, by some miracle, they're competing for that 1 seed.
Right. That's true.
And then there's a possibility there.
Yep.
But as of right now, I'm saying we win out, win 3 straight, and they're winning first-round wild card game. Whomever they play, they're winning it to advance the divisional round, where they will probably lose. But that is my bold prediction to end the season so far.
I like it. Man, I really feel like I should come up with a bold prediction. Bold prediction. I don't even know where I want to go with this. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with the Dolphins here. Dolphins, yeah, I could see you guys winning 3. I think it would be great for you guys to win 3 to put you into the playoffs in the right frame of mind. I don't think a loss right now is really what this team needs. Just more wins, more solidity, solidifying of that idea that Brian Flores has brought down to South Beach, and let's get your job done and let's take home the W.
Loving it. So it's that time. It's time to wind it down.
Ooh.
So here we are. Closing times. Oh.
Yep. When I lock the door. Okay. Well, now that we're in here in the bird's nest, I'm just so tired of this season. I'm just gonna say it. I do this because I love sports, but this is like clawing my eyes out. Okay, it's just bad. Okay, I'm not happy with the 49ers' decisions this year. Obviously, there was things outside of their control that created a lot of elements. Obviously, all teams have to deal with these out of your control elements. But the things that you can control have been the biggest just burn me up moments this year with this 49er team. And maybe it's because I had sky high expectations.
Didn't level yourself out after that Super Bowl.
Well, and here you got to look. Let's look at the Chiefs' perspective. They win the Super Bowl. Trash. Their fan base isn't. If they don't get the Super Bowl, oh well. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they had it. They got theirs. That 50-year drought is so
Oh, yeah.
cleansed in Kansas City. Like, shut the hell up.
Oh, yeah.
I just, the fan base in San Francisco has been stuck on the quest for 6, and it's so
Gross. Just gross feeling.
because we've had 2 Super Bowls. We've lost both of them. Prior to that moment, had never lost in a Super Bowl. Was the only NFL team to never lose in a Super Bowl. And yet we've lost twice now.
2 straight.
13 points combined, both.
Ugh.
So, were they both winnable? Yeah, they were. One, obviously, we had to do a comeback after the lights came on for the team. And then we watched Kyle Shanahan pull a Kyle Shanahan. I don't really know else.
Let's go pass the ball, Jimmy G. We don't need to run it anymore. We're not averaging 10 yards a run. Oh.
Right. Even though, 3 to 4 runs, and you could see the physical drain it was putting on that Kansas City D, and they couldn't do it. When you were keeping Patrick Mahomes and throw the ball 70 yards down the field in one play, you keep it off the field. But, it's just so teeth grinding, I think, as a 49er fan. And I try to make sure I don't rant as much about it because obviously I just don't want to be that guy. But, I watched this team this year. You have 5 wins from a 13-3 win season last year. It's just absolutely disgusting watching the head coach, the defensive coordinator, just anything that goes into this team, the lack of changing any direction. When they're getting punched, if they were a boxer, they'd just be standing there with their hands like this, and the guy's just jabbing them in the face, and they just let it keep happening.
Yep.
And that's the thing that's bugged me the most. Whatever, you have Nick Mullins as your quarterback. Whatever, you have all these guys that are down, and you're pulling Kerry Hyder and Dion Jordan off some bus station. Whatever, I don't care. You're pulling you're reaching. But the fact that there was no change, and any time I've watched these 13 games that we've completed up to this point, I've watched absolute just junk be put on the field, and it was just such a disgusting moment because, again, everyone wants to talk negatively about Jimmy G. The guy's not even on the field, and everyone still wants to get rid of him. So it just blows my mind. I'm tired of this. And I get it. Maybe it's, again, when I've talked about this before, maybe it's about the whole, we had Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice. We've won 5 Super Bowls. So the bar is high. Expectations are always high. Maybe we should level ourselves out. Maybe we should just realize that I think we have a good team. I think we have a good core. I think we have what it takes to win a championship. It's just whether or not the guys want to believe in each other. I feel like Shanahan doesn't believe in the guys he has right now, and it shows. And that's just my rant for the day, but I just it's just disgusting.
Oh, I get it. I understand. I totally get where you're coming from. You guys just came off that, Super Bowl berth, NFC defending champs, looking to build off of that, looking to continue to take the next step and, see Jimmy G continue to get better. And it just hasn't happened this year. The coaching hasn't been there. Something's going on internally in my mind. There's just something going on behind the scenes, and there's too much clashing, I think, of coaching. And that's why you're starting to hear Robert Saleh's name being brought up as major head coaching, blah, 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 blah. I just think something's going on there. I think people are calling Shanahan out, maybe trying to check him, and people aren't liking it.
Yep.
So we'll see. I hope they kind of get back to it. I was hopeful for our game earlier this year, for it to be a good competitive game. We got a young squad. You guys got a talented squad too, and then it just pretty much go out of hand because you guys were not healthy. Jimmy G couldn't even step into his throws, but was still out on the field. What kind of coaching decision is that? So
We
they're-
literally signed a guy 2 days prior to the game, and we're like, "Hey, go defend."
right.
You know, hey, we signed you off our practice squad. Go guard the number 2. Like, those are the coaching decisions that I just,
Bad decisions. Bad decisions.
you know,
Totally
like,
bad decisions. That's why I totally understand it and I agree with it, and I hope they can get things switched and fixed in the off season and kind of get back to where they were because they got a really good young core of talent. I mean, I don't. It sucks that they shipped Quan Alexander out because Quan and Fred Warner together were just nuts. So
yeah,
I enjoyed watching the duo. They were really good together. But I mean, you see Quan's instant impact on that New Orleans defense as soon as he was traded there. So
he's a locker room guy.
obviously they knew what they needed.
Yeah,
So that was huge. So I think that's what we'll leave it. I don't really got nothing too special. I mean, I enjoyed our game against Kansas City last week because we proved that we can play with the best. Our defense proved we could play with the best, and Tua showed that if you give him weapons, he'll win games. He
Yep.
makes people better around him.
Yep.
And to say that as a rookie, huge. That's all I got to say about it. Down the road, I think we'll see Miami competing for division titles and AFC championships and potentially a Super Bowl in the next 3 or 4 years. Not far fetched to think at all.
I like seeing a lefty out there. I mean, I
It's
got
great.
to enjoy Steve Young, and it was brilliant. And Steve Young sold me on it. Like a year, maybe 2 ago, when he was talking Tua up, talking about
2 ago, 2 ago,
yeah, 2 ago, exactly. And he sold me, and I watched it, and he's right. It's just a beautiful throw, beautiful release. The kid's just dynamite, and I just hope that the Dolphins organization keeps him upright, and they have a beautiful future ahead with that quarterback. Give him some weapons and some, I think, a better center really ties that whole line together. And I think that line's just fine, really. You leave the guards and the tackles alone. You get a center who comes in and just solidifies that whole idea. And I think the Dolphins are easily, people are going to talk me down, but they're easily one of the best teams in the AFC.
They definitely are. The defense says it all. I love it. So, guys, with that, we do appreciate you guys taking your time to join us. Obviously, we were a little behind on the time today. It's been a crazy last couple days getting some things kind of ironed out with the schedules. So we will definitely be back next Saturday. We want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everyone out there, and we will see you guys next Saturday.
Take care, guys. Be safe.